Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me at Evolutionary Energy Arts. Once again, we have so many things to cover. It's just like impossible to keep up right now with all the changes going on. Of course, anything with Yellowstone would be one of the biggest things that we'd want to be aware of. Yellowstone volcano eruption, steamboat geyser starts to blow underneath supervolcano. So this is a report on the Express, the UK. And so, something to be aware of. Experts at Yellowstone National Park claim to have seen the steamboat geyser erupt on Thursday night. Park Service made the announcement about the world's tallest active geyser on Friday. As geologists compared the accounts to thermal sensors in the area, it was determined that it could be a series of minor eruptions, and the geyser can shoot water more than 300 feet during significant eruptions. A New Zealand geyser has sent water higher still, but not for 100 years. So the activity will send fears among volcano watchers who worry about the supervolcano, which is located about 15 miles south of the geyser, and that it's due to erupt. So, as always with Yellowstone, we want to be aware. Ambe volcano alert raised to level 3 in Vanuatu. There's just so much going on. I mean, literally, it's just amazing. All the activity we're seeing of all different sorts all over the world. This is not like in any way, shape, or form localized. I mean, it's everywhere you look. There's different things going on. And it's just like, the whole switch on Earth changes has been turned to a higher level. Canal completely drained after huge 100-foot wide sinkhole opens up just feet from a boat in Cheshire, UK. And we could see it's just a massive hole in a canal. And it's all drained. And the more I think about this expanding Earth theory, the more it seems to make sense to me. Because it would explain this. You would end up getting these gaps, these openings, and as the Earth is growing and expanding out, you're going to have situations like this. And it just makes perfect sense. And I know from your comments, seems like most of you out there kind of agree with this theory too. Of course, there are some that think it's pure quackery. But you will always have diverse opinions. So, just amazing. And there's a lot of activity in the UK right now. The UK is definitely having a ton of activity. We had a lot of water receding in the UK, and now we have situations like this. And these are houses that are about to disappear because of sinkholes in Norwich in the UK. And so we see sinkholes opening up actually all over the world. There's sinkholes opening up, and again, it's not just one isolated area. Here we have the UK, but as you're going to see, we have sinkholes going everywhere. And again, it would seem to make sense when we're talking about expanding Earth that you're going to have these gaps that are going to develop. And this is out of Norwich and St. Albans. And there are sinkholes opening up all around the globe. This is in northeast DC. A sinkhole already displaced 2 homeowners. Now their concerns are growing with the sinkhole, they say, because it's growing too, and it looks like it might take out more houses. And this is on the 4900 block of J Street Northeast in DC. So people had to evacuate their homes for that. Smothers Park, and this is in Kentucky. Another sinkhole opened up. And this is Oakland, California. Motorists urged to avoid Oakland side of the Posey Tube. Now that was due to a broken storm pipe, but also it could be due to expansion in the first place that's causing the pipe to break. And this is again about the Posey Tube one. And this is Pine Hills, and this is a sinkhole forcing a family of 6 to evacuate. And this is Orange County, Florida, and we know Florida is definitely very, very susceptible to it. And this one measured 13 feet deep, 20 feet wide. And, pretty scary thing when the ground opens up like that and threatens to swallow your house. And it's not just the sinkholes. We have crazy beach erosion going on all around the world, even where there isn't really tremendously apparent storm activity or wave action. There still seems to be incredible beach erosion going on. And so residents of 10 seaside chalets perilously close to the edge of cliffs have been evacuated as high winds and waves threaten their homes. So in this case, it is a stormy situation. As we know, the UK has been battered by an unusual amount of storms for them and unusually cold weather. And they say that 6 properties have a very, very good chance of going into the sea. So it's just one of those things to be aware of. Snow and high winds hit Europe. Croatia faces swollen river. Romania. We have all sorts of severe weather going on around the globe. Record heat, possible severe storms, then a big cool down. So extremely changeable, and we know that here in Florida too, because we've had such an unusual cold snap where the mornings have been in the 40s, which is unusual for this time of year. It was actually warmer a month ago, and it's very, very interesting, how things are changing and how things are, so the weather can swing from one extreme to another. We have widespread floods going on in Kenya, at least 19 killed and scores injured, and tremendous flooding. 3 days of heavy rain caused widespread flooding across Kenya this week, killing at least 19 people, displacing scores of others, and they're going to continue for at least 5 more days. And that's part of that, what looked to be a train, a weather system train that could be partially because of La Nina, and it's very interesting. It's just the way that the storms are lining up. They're just in a line, they just go straight across. And what we're seeing is the dissolution of old weather patterns, and it's just so unpredictable right now. You can't even say that you're establishing new weather patterns because we're really in a transitory place right now. So what will the new norm be? Who knows? We have no idea where the poles are going to end up settling. And anybody that thinks they could pinpoint it and say it's going to be exactly here, they're still just guessing. They're giving educated guesses, so we don't really know exactly. And there's different situations that we're all going to face in different areas. Obviously, if we're on the coast, we have to be aware of floodwater rolling in, but then also if you're inland, like here in Kenya, you could still have floods, depending on the weather patterns that happen. And it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Amazing earth changes. Heavy dust storm hits Canberra, leaves thousands without power. This is Australia. So we're touching crazy weather all around all corners of the globe. And wind gusts brought down power lines, uprooted trees, caused panic among the locals. One of the things we're going to see is definitely increased strong winds, and that's going to be part of what we're going to see. Send bread. UK snow sparks panic buying chaos as supermarket shelves are stripped bare. And this is, of course, one of the biggest worries is going to be the food situation as we get deeper and deeper into the earth changes. And again, I will share with you that I'm planning on this week buying some bulk rice, lentils, beans, as I've done in the past, because they go a long way and you could store them for years. So it's the type of thing that's good to have on hand. And then, of course, you're going to need a way to cook it. So it's not bad to get, like, say, one of those Coleman camper cookers. You know, they're relatively inexpensive, and you could get some propane, and you'll be able to at least make yourself some food if the power goes out, and if it's out for a relatively long time. Think about how inexpensive you can buy. Like, if you go to a Indian grocery store, for instance, or, you know, if you you could buy online, Amazon, you know, do some shopping and find good deals. It's a good idea to have things that store for long-term storage. And when you think about how cost effective it is for, say, rice and beans and lentils and things along those lines, plus the ability to store them long term, there's staples that you should have on the shelf, unless you have an issue digesting them, or just simply can't stand them. But that would be something that would be good to have in your pantry, just in case. As well as, you know, the ability to grow your own fruits and veggies. You know, there are people that have emergency seed kits, you know, where they have those for sale too. They're relatively inexpensive, and you could get enough seeds to have your own garden and, you know, save seeds. Just as long as you're buying organic produce, you could save the seeds from the produce and then reseed it. Now, of course, depending on where you're at, it's a lot tougher in some areas than others to grow things, but there's good old ingenuity, and you know, you don't have to build a greenhouse, but maybe you could do something with grow lights. There's all different possibilities. Just look into it and be prepared. UK snow, commuters warned to stay home and drivers told to stay off roads. Travel only if vital. So we have lots of severe weather. We're going through a solar storm, or we were going through a solar storm, which could definitely increase it. And there are reports saying that as the magnetosphere decreases, we're going to be it's going to be like we're going through a solar storm that never ends. So we need to be prepared for that. And so these are just a handful of the things that are happening. In reality, we could talk about, you know, 50 more items and talk for hours at least, with major things that are going on around the globe, because the changes are coming in rapidly and they are amping up. So we need to, you know, do our own preparations, be prepared, and stay safe out there, my friends. As always, please do a thumbs up to help support the channel. Definitely leave your comments. Let us know what you're doing. You know, share with our Evolutionary Energy Arts family how you guys are preparing. You know, what are you doing? What type of things are you buying and storing? You know, what are your plans? It's wonderful to see people sharing what they're doing, what they're experiencing. What are you noticing locally? Please do share that with me as well. I went to the beach yesterday and I was shocked to see, because we didn't have any severe storms that I could remember, but yet the beach erosion was tremendous. And it was like, what happened? Because there was just basically this 8 to 10 foot cliff that just dropped straight off, you know, and it's not usually like that. So there's definitely some unusual tidal activity going on, you know, over here too in Southwest Florida, that's pulling the beach, the sand away. And, you know, things are not normal anymore. So please share what you're noticing in your area as well. And if you have any photos or anything you want to share, please feel free. Send them to me, email them to me at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com, and I'd love to take a look at them. I'm getting some very, very interesting things in that then I will go ahead and share in future videos so that we could all see and all be aware of what's going on with all these rapid changes. So as always, be safe, my friends. Thumbs up, share with as many people as possible, wake them up. And, you know, prepared neighbors are safer neighbors. And as always, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. and join our growing family. So I thank you so much. Stay safe, my friends. Take care.